I still hear your voice on the midnight breeze, like a whisper carried through the autumn trees. Sebastian Wayne Drake, my pride, my boy, my firstborn child, my heart, my joy.
It's been 8 long months since you've been gone, and I'm still out here holding on.
I bow my head and I pray each night, Lord, bring him home, show me a light. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain.
The seasons change, but my heart stands still. This house is quiet, but I love him still. I look down the road and call out his name. God, help me hold on through this lonesome pain.
If you can hear me, I need your grace. Help me find my boy, show me the way. I'll carry this love through the wind and rain. Lord, help me believe we'll meet again. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain. If the stars could carry my words tonight,
They tell him I love him and hold on tight.
Sebastian Wayne Drake, my sweet little son, I'll search till I find you. Our journey's not done. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain.
Hello, everybody. I hope your Friday is going good. I hope everybody can hear me well. Trying to blend in the dark makes me look Bliss. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. It was loud when you came in, wasn't it?
It was loud. I had to turn my volume down. That was my fault.
Sorry about that.
So, how's your Friday?
It's another day ending in Y. Like, why do we have to put up with all the BS that we have to put up with?
Just the chosen ones, I guess. Hello, everyone. So, is it just you and I this evening?
Just you and I.
Oh my. So nervous.
You said you had questions that you asked me. You're kind of new into looking for Sebastian. And did you check your email?
I did. I did. So I have all of the questions that other people have. Holy wow. Yeah, lots. And
I will let everybody know I am not trying to pull another 3 hour. That's just really, it's mentally exhausting for me. So I am going to not pull another 3 hour. I want to kind of keep it around maybe an hour and a half. I probably won't get to all the questions, and some of the questions that you ask, respectively speaking, I'm not going to claim the fifth because I'm not Fauci, but I'm just going to tell you I can't answer those questions.
All right. Well, I suppose we can start off with some from the people in the chat that I've asked them that you sent over.
Well, go ahead and first introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, I
Introduce your
suppose.
channel. You know, I didn't know if you're streaming this. I told you could.
I am not, but maybe in the background here I will get that hooked up. But I appreciate you.
Not a problem.
And thank you for having me. I'm very excited. Obviously, we've spoken before, but for anyone that doesn't know me, my name is Justine. My channel is Pretty Little Clues, and we kind of just met through friends of friends. And I know that I watch Bullhorn
AV.
Betty as well, so
It's AV.
an AV.
It's AV. I mean,
Oh yes, Army vet. Is he here? Hi, AV.
oh, I am pretty sure he is probably somewhere hiding.
Probably.
You know, listening to his AI, robot doll.
His deep thinking computer.
His deep thinking computer, yeah. Mm-hmm. I've watched Serenity. I know what AI robots are for. Okay, everybody, if you haven't watched Serenity, you should go watch Serenity.
You're kind of low. Just turn my volume up a little bit. I haven't heard that song though. It's a beautiful song that you have.
Well, I wrote it, so.
Well, that explains it then. But yeah, beautiful. Alrighty. Well, are you ready?
Never. It's just another day ending in Y.
All right. Well, Little Miss Sharon asked, how do you feel about Jen Coffindaffer saying that law enforcement has immunity and that they don't think he'll be successful in filing against Sumner?
Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion. As for Jen Coffindaffer, I hope she enjoys her page. But when I was last on her panel, she was not even prepared. And what kind of even ex-FBI agent would not be prepared with a list of questions to ask? And when she did invite me up on her panel, which was the day before, I didn't have a problem with being on her panel, but she asked me to come on her panel to spread awareness for Sebastian Was Missing. And she turned around and started asking me questions about the filings without ever actually even looking at the filings or having them there for her to go off of them. That's, I mean, if you're going to use the moniker of ex-FBI, at least bring some of the professionalism, you know.
Yep. Well, look, I have a step up on Jen Coffindaffer. Yay. All right.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
it's
mean,
easy to
I'm law
judge.
enforcement, but you know, I don't do this in a professional standpoint. I try to keep it as professional as I can, but this is for my son. And, you know, when I'm on my channel, I tell everybody that when you're up here, just remember that you're representing Sebastian being up here. Now, if I'm on your panel, then I'm representing myself. And most people remember that.
Absolutely, it's how it should be. And that's why we're all here, right? Is for Seth or Sebastian. Seth. You know.
That's why I'm here.
All
I'm here
right.
for Sebastian.
Right. All right. Groot Daily says, has Sumner County acknowledged and given any explanation in regards to their failing of Sebastian?
They won't admit anything. I mean, they haven't communicated with me for months now. So, and the fact is that the only time they even say anything about Sebastian is if people show up in front of their building and news crews show up. So, you know, they don't want to talk about Sebastian, just like a couple other people we know.
I wonder if I know who you're referring to.
That's as far as I'm going.
All right. I'll ask this one, but I'm not entirely sure what they mean by this, but it says, do the courts accept this filing? Let me just make sure I read that right. Nurse Kins said, did the courts accept this case?
We haven't. I mean, we filed it. That's all I can tell you right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm not entirely sure what they meant by that, but I figured just to be fair, I would ask it.
We won't know if they accept it for, you know, a minute.
Right.
There's a whole process.
Right. Okay. So let's see. What else we got?
I'm going to interrupt you for 1
2
second.
dozen rose. Yep, go ahead.
Hi, Blackhawk. Haven't seen you in a minute. I hope everything's going good. From my understanding, from my understanding, was informed that they had multiple people that said that they saw this person or I should say, saw this person's vehicle outside of Warshone's. But from my understanding, also, is that Sumner County didn't pull any of the video footage before it got overwritten. That's what I know, which is hearsay because obviously Sumner County is not telling me anything at this point in time. So that's all I can say about it because that's all I know about it. And when asked that same question to squash that rumor, when I asked Christopher Proudfoot that question, he turned around and changed it from Monday to I knew what his parents were doing Sunday, which I don't stalk people, so I wouldn't know what they were doing Sunday anyways. And my whole thing that I know about that whole weekend is just based off of, to me, hearsay. because it's based off of somebody else's statement. I do know where they've been because I've seen video footage and
All right.
photos and all that stuff for some of their locations. But does that work for you, Black Hawk? Yep. You are so welcome, sir. Yeah. Individual. It's just an entity. I don't know the person, so I don't want to disrespect them, but I don't have a problem answering questions to the best of my ability.
Yeah, especially if it's not a conflict with the cases or anything, because I know we have to tread lightly on that as well.
Yes.
But like you said, if you can't answer them, you can't answer them, and there are reasons for that, not just avoidance. So
some of it is because I don't know.
yeah, and that's fair too.
I'm not scared to admit that I don't know something. There's a lot in this world I don't know, like where my son is.
All right, so let's see.
You didn't realize I was going to make you read while you were on my panel, did you?
No, that's okay. They're asking the good questions, and like I said, I mean, I'm coming into this relatively new. Like I said, I wanted to come in with a completely unbiased opinion. I didn't want to be, on one side or the other. I told you from day one, I am on Sebastian's side, as anybody that is doing this case should be. So
I told you there are no sides. There's just Sebastian's missing, and to find him.
Right. So no, I'm glad that they brought all the tough stuff. So my job's pretty easy today. 2 Dozen Roses says, Seth, do you think the judge will ask the Sumner County Sheriff's Office where Sebastian is? Just wondering, since KP and CP said they told. I don't know. That's what it says.
Do you think the judge will ask SCSO where Sebastian is? I don't know what CP and KP told Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I mean, any normal person would ask, where is, the missing child? Where is Sebastian Rogers? If the judge asked that to, them or their attorneys, I mean, they don't have to answer that. We have filed these lawsuits for a particular reason. And it's stated right there in the filings. Whatever the judge wants to do, the judge is going to do. I mean, I just pray that they are, of an open mind.
I'm muted, huh? I'm back. Okay. So it says, Seth, have you been able to...
I mean, I can't like that, though. Mute you like that.
Are we done playing mute tag?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So C Legal Canada says, Seth, have you been able to find a civil lawyer in Tennessee? I know you have the other lawyer that's out of state. I worry some Tennessee lawyers may be reluctant to take this on due to threats.
I mean, my attorney has an office here in Nashville. So that makes him a lawyer in Tennessee that can take the case. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think legally they have to have licensure from the Bar Association to practice in the state. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to take on the case. So
correct. But that's not my wheelhouse. That's his wheelhouse.
Yeah. And I
I
mean, if your
I mean,
other lawyer
got,
is out of state, that might not be a bad thing, if especially if they're not biased or have relationships with anybody in the court system.
yeah, and I'm in the dark. My head hurts. I've had a migraine, so you know, if
Yeah.
y'all want, I can turn the light on. Bear with
Oh,
me
it
1 second. You can
doesn't
get
bother me. I'm starting to get one as well. I just put like an icy hot patch on because mine like are like cervicogenic, so they start in my neck. So I get it. But you do what's comfortable for you. I'm cool. Okay, real bowdy moving says, do you assume Sebastian did not make it home that night? And I'm assuming they mean the 25th.
uh I have my doubts that he made it home, and that's just based off of what information I was given by SCSO. You know, when I asked for proof of life, you know, this was I asked for it, and we're talking about more, than a month later being pulled in and shown the Texas Roadhouse video. Kind of tells me that that's their last visual proof of life. And if you're going to search for somebody, you search from the location that they were reported missing, and you incorporate the last point in time they were seen in the public view.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Because it's the last verifiable proof when he was seen, right?
Yes. The rest of it, you're going off of you know video that is too grainy and dark for you to verify who it is, and another person's word, and that person was the only person in the house with the missing person. Trying my best not to say people's names.
Understood. I will do the same.
Oh, you don't have to.
Okay.
I do,
All
because
right. I don't want to make sure. I want to make sure I don't get you in trouble.
oh no, you can't get me in trouble. I'm a grown man.
I get myself in trouble though.
And you can do that. Like we're doing questions and answers here, so we're not talking about our opinions. And you'll find that when I speak, I don't put in allegedly or in my opinion unless I'm in somebody else's chat, because you're asking me a question, so I'm giving you my answer, which is my perspective.
Understood. So this next one is more of a comment, but Frankie Tower 4002 said we should reach out to Kendall Ray and ask her to cover Sebastian's case. She donates to NCMAC, and she loves having family to interview. Can we all try reaching out? Sebastian deserves a platform.
Okay, I do not know who this person is, but my email address is we are Sebastian's Army at gmail.com. If anybody wants to reach out to that person or send me an email on how I can get a hold of that person, I don't have a problem following that down. There's a question. How did Sebastian react to loud noises? Well, when he was younger, loud noises in him, unless of course he was the one making the loud noises. I remember, you know, if he was making loud noises as a baby, he was great, you know. And as he got older, I would say maybe 6 or 7, loud noises still bothered him. But as he hit his teenage years, I mean, he likes to light off fireworks on the 4th of July, and we're shooting off mortar rounds, you know. So, and he's out there lighting them, and, you know, giddy as that can be, right on the front yard. Got his big giant sparkler, and, you know, He likes the real big packets, the ones that are like $200 or $300, up to like 6 or 7. But I mean, the last the last Fourth of July that he was here at my house, I I spent $2,000 on fireworks. All right, and they were gone in less than 30 minutes. But he had a grand time lighting them, and I had no problem at all. Fourth of July is to celebrate the birth of our nation.
Yeah, and I know that sometimes children that are on the spectrum have issues with loud noises, but Sebastian did not.
When he was younger, he did, but he
Yeah.
was overcoming it. I mean,
Okay.
because it's like, when do you have fireworks? Fourth of July, Memorial Day, things like that. And I wouldn't take him to that stuff because we took him one time, and as soon as the fireworks went off, he was a screaming. Um, yeah. And from there, it was like I bought glow in the dark stuff. So everything, and his favorite color is green, anyways.
Mine
So,
too.
I would buy the glow in the dark sword and, anything that he could do so that way it's the 4th of July here, crack these open. They last for, 7 or 8 hours, which is longer than any sparkler, and they won't set your house on fire. So it was great because he would sit there, and then I'd go into his room like a week later because I'd get the necklaces and the glow sticks, and, you know, uh, I've got some battery operated glow sticks that are waterproof. So when you click them on, they last for like 8 hours. They're awesome. Yeah. But I would go into his room like a week later and just pick up all the dead glow in the dark stuff and, throw it away because it's trash. But as he was getting older, he was getting accustomed to louder noise. Your body's developing, things aren't as loud, I guess. We all, if you're on the spectrum, you learn to overcome stuff if you're in the right environment.
I do enjoy hearing your stories. I enjoy hearing you talk about him and things that he enjoyed, especially, I like fireworks and so does my son. So it's nice to hear you talk about, things that he liked as well. Um, okay, this next one is again a question from Froggy. Seth, can you get News Nation and Core TV to cover this lawsuit and Sebastian's law?
I am working on my attorney is working on the lawsuit part for interviews and stuff like that. And of course, if they can get up there, I like to talk about Sebastian. The lawsuits to me are just another step. It's not a step back, but it's like literally addressing these steps beforehand to see if that will. I mean, shouldn't have to go this route, but I'm hoping that it can continue to keep Sebastian in the news and bring awareness to the fact that I'm not the only one missing a child. But something has to be addressed. I believe DCS is failing people left and right. I believe they have no oversight, and they should have federal oversight to make sure that they're staying with the process of protecting our children. So something has to be done.
Yeah.
I also believe if they had done their job, I would not be up here having a conversation and, answering questions about my boy.
Yeah, it was disheartening to see, just from what I had read, obviously in the filings, about how there were 2 different cases that were opened, and then they ended up closing them because they weren't allowed to basically cross jurisdiction, is what I'm seeing state-wise,
You know,
allegedly.
what gets me is how they went to Kentucky to a landfill and how that didn't trigger the FBI to take over the whole case, because they just crossed state lines. And underneath the Lindbergh Act, you know, technically, if the FBI wanted to, I think that they could have pushed the issue, and they didn't, which is not their fault. I didn't even know about the Lindbergh Act, or else I would have been. I'd been like, hey, he's got plenty of time to be over a state or over a border, and now we're looking at over 2.5 years as he's missing. I don't know if he's in Tennessee or not. I pray that he's alive and he is well, and I pray that he's still within the United States border.
Yeah. I think we're all hoping, obviously no one more than you is hoping for,
I
a
think
safe
certain
return.
things should be done. Like if you put out an Amber Alert, every airport should be aware of it. Border Patrol should be aware of it. But that's where you come in with federal oversight. Because federal oversight literally would connect things like the airports, which is federal, because it's transportation, Border Patrol, which is federal, and these places would have notifications and flyers up, their printer should be going off when the Amber Alert hits. And I think it should be that way in every police station or, law enforcement agency. When an Amber Alert goes off, it should be clicking up, printing, and somebody needs to start putting it on the board where everybody walks by so they can see who's there.
So you're gonna have to pardon me, but did they put out any sort of alert for Sebastian at all?
There was an Amber Alert issued. I never received it.
And I mean, you were same county and everything,
I
or
was in front of somebody's house when TBI said we issued an Amber Alert, and I never received it. That's a problem. I wouldn't care if I got 500 or 5,000 Amber Alerts every day. I mean, I'd care. That's ridiculous. But the fact is me being notified that there's a missing person, a missing child, that does not bother me one bit.
no, I agree with you. Was there anyone else that confirmed that they got it? Was it like maybe a specific service provider, or do you not know?
TBI is the one that issues the Amber Alerts. So when the agent sat there and told me we issued an Amber Alert, other people got it. And I never personally got it.
Okay.
And I think I'm standing at the address where he was reported missing from, and I didn't get it.
Yeah. That wouldn't sit well with me either. All right. So Lisa C CQ5CR question marks, like 5 of them. If there is a dash cam video she provided at Texas Roadhouse, is there dash cam video of her when she went to the school? Have you approached the FBI about this being an abduction?
Well, the FBI has labeled it as a kidnapping. As for dash cam, I've never seen any of the dash cam. Sumner County never showed me the dash cam. I know that they have it. But I also know that, the detective literally, when it switched over to the dash cam, he turned it off so that I could not see it. That's a problem, in my opinion. I mean,
Yeah. I just saw another one in the chat that's a good one because I know that I saw something about KP being asked, obviously, for, I think she said a toothbrush and a brush. Did they ask you for anything to provide a sample for DNA or just her?
just her.
Okay. Okay, this person even says it in there, but the real Bowdy move-in again says, Seth, if you are comfortable answering, what do you think happened and where Sebastian is? Do you think there was some sort of handoff on the way home from Texas Roadhouse?
Possibly. I don't know. It's like this. When I took the polygraph for Nancy Grace, and that FBI guy asked me, he asked me to give him 4 scenarios of what I thought may or may not have happened with my son missing. And he brought up the last one where, my son would be no longer, and that started a real big issue. And people took that as, because it's the only one he talked about, that's what I thought happened. And it's like, he did me a disservice with the fact that he didn't explain where I came from with that. I don't know why he did that. And I don't think he was thinking before he, but it's in the past. It's happened. That was one of, but I believe my son is alive. So just got to find him. And if he was handed off, then I still have to find him. And finding him, I can figure out everything that happened. Because he can tell us in his own words.
Sandy IMO says, what do you think she was doing at Texas Roadhouse, and what do you think Sebastian was thinking?
Sebastian didn't look happy in the video. His shoulders were slumped, and I've gone out to eat with my son many a times, and he never looked like that unless he was in trouble. And, even if he was in trouble with me, he wouldn't look like that by the time, because I would already spoke to him in the truck. We had already had our conversation. It would have been over and done with. And if he was still, hey, you're not in trouble. We had a conversation about it. I hope you learned from what you did. Now let's enjoy dinner. Only time will tell if you learn.
I saw that video actually. I don't disagree. I don't think he looked happy in my opinion, but I saw that she took a picture.
That too.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the video and the stills from the bowling alley. And yeah, he walks in behind her. His hands are shoved deep into his pockets. His shoulders are all rolled forward. He was not having a good day. He was either in trouble, or he had been given some news that he did not want to hear and was being told that he had to do something he didn't want to do. Personally, that's what I think. Do I know the conversation that went on? No. Have I asked for, I asked a particular agency if they could get, a certified lip reader, because they have those, so that we could actually get a translation of what my son was saying. Because I believe that with the way my son would respond, I'd have a better idea of what the conversation was. Sorry.
I saw that she was no, you're fine. I saw that she was taking a picture. Has it been verified who was that for? Did she send it to anybody, or do we not know?
I have no idea. In fact, I've never even seen the picture.
Okay.
Pictures. The last pictures taken of my son, and I've never seen them.
I'm surprised that they didn't want to use that one for poster or like the flyer or anything, because don't they usually want the most recent photo?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Wasn't given a reason when I asked that question. And I asked that question, what's worse is that's not even the picture that she shoved in my face when I walked into the house. was the picture that she. Here's my kitty cat.
I was gonna say your buddy's up here now.
When I walked in, she shoved the picture in my face that was taken from, I guess, Saturday or whatnot when they were at BJ's.
And there's no audio either.
No, it's just a picture. You're talking about the Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah, sorry, the Texas Roadhouse video.
Yeah, there's no audio. I guess they don't have audio on their cameras. Maybe because it's so loud to begin with.
It is.
No.
I have one right down the road from my house, so it is very loud.
I haven't eaten at one since my son went missing. I don't,
Yeah. I don't blame you. I don't think I could do that.
I mean, I should probably go there, sit down in the booth, see if I can feel anything from it, but I don't think I'd be able to eat. I mean, just thinking about it makes my stomach upset.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean,
Well,
I believe in that, intuition and getting feelings for certain things.
I know
So
the
I wonder how
Texas
that would go.
Roadhouse video was saved because Sumner County, like literally Brandon, was like, you should be lucky. The only reason that video was saved is because I told them to save it. And it's like, well, if that's the case, where's the 10 or 15 hours beforehand so that you can literally start looking to see what the customer base is, to see if anybody actually comes in, and where's the hour or so afterwards so that you can get a feel for what's really going on. And if Green Hoodie is a regular customer, then have you gone back and requested videos so that you can prove that Green Hoodie is a regular customer? Because I've heard too many rumors. I've heard rumors that it was a homeless person. I've heard rumors from people that work on the inside who have stated they never saw her. And then there's rumors that people on the inside of Texas Roadhouse knew her because she was a regular customer. And it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I saw someone in the chat had asked if you thought that person may be a suspect.
I think they're suspicious. I can't use the suspect word because I'm not the investigating agency.
Person of interest?
I don't find them interesting. I find them suspicious.
Fair. Okay, so let's see. Okay, that was the next question. Do you believe Green Hoodie had any involvement? So we kind of just knocked that one out. A got changed 3764 said, do you think someone may have seen your boy and taken him to the jail and is a John Doe? Sometimes people call 911 if they see things.
I believe that they have his fingerprints. So if he were to go to any type of juvenile or law enforcement detention center, then they would run his fingerprints.
Someone asked if you thought that Green Hoodie looked familiar to you.
Familiar enough that I drove all the way to Virginia. Me and Tony both.
Interesting.
When we got there, I contacted the police and let them know who I was and why I was there. And then this will probably upset a few people, but I sat at the end of the block and watched the cops go in. I wish they had taken dogs with them.
So, or you believe,
when
know who that person
things
is?
happen, and I'm like, well, if you're looking for a missing person, why don't you take a dog in there? Because the dog's going to find whoever and everyone in there. And if you're going in to look at a place, you should be going through everywhere, including the backyard, the trailer in the backyard, the one that's attached to the house, or, The 2-story shed you put up in the backyard. And isn't it nice that your fence, that brand new privacy fence that you put up, 30 days before my son went missing? Isn't it nice? Do I find things suspicious? I do. Trust is very hard to give out for me. It was hard before my son went missing, and he went missing from his mom's house. I should be able to trust my son's mother with his well-being. Just like when I bring my son here, she should be able to trust me to be responsible for my son's well-being.
I understand that more than you know. I think I've already kind of told you a little bit about my story, but it's kind of
You
why I
haven't
fought
told me
so
much,
hard.
but I hide in the bushes quite well, so I hear things.
Yeah.
It's
exactly why I fought so hard for the rights that I have, because I was
Hey, I
terrified.
fought tooth and nail, and I told him in California. I told
Yeah.
her attorney and the mediator. I was like, "Listen, I ain't asking for much, but I'm not going to not be in my son's life." And I fought and got joint physical custody while I was homeless, living in a car in California. And I represented myself. So I think I did pretty good on that. It's just obviously I trusted the wrong person to take care of herself.
Understood. Shoot, what was I gonna ask? Well, it'll come back maybe. There's plenty of other questions. All right. Let's see. Briggy72 said, Seth, do you still check D&D to see if Sebastian's character is active?
Well, so the game that we were in, the DM actually moved to Franklin, Tennessee, and so he doesn't DM the game anymore. But we use paper sheets, so it's not like, his character sheet is in his room, waiting for him to pick it back up to go be the barbarian that he is.
I'm going to assume that's a Dungeons and Dragons term.
Yes, it's fine.
All right.
See all those shelves behind you? It's time to add some D&D books to them.
Oh. I don't know if there's room over there.
There's always room for D&D, okay?
Oh, okay. All right. I might have to learn something for Sebastian's sake. All right. So there's another one. Lisa Lawrence just wants to know if you've heard from the other side lately and if they seem scared that you were filing a lawsuit.
I haven't heard from them. My phone number hasn't changed and they haven't called me. So, and I answer my phone, whether it's in my phone book or not, because I'm hoping that every time my phone rings and it's a number I don't know, or, I hope for the best. I get let down so far, but I'll keep answering it.
Yeah, understandable. All right. So Snooky, love the name, by the way, if Snooky's still here. I was just wondering if any of the neighbors may have had clearer camera footage of prior trash nights of Sebastian that can be compared to the footage that night before he went missing, a granny one.
We haven't asked any. I mean, most of the time, Ring cameras, that footage and stuff like that, as in me and my PI haven't asked. Now, for what the sheriffs have done, that's on them. But the last time I heard anything, they were looking for video footage from like 12 hours before to 12 hours after. Some things that seem like it might be common sense ain't so common.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. It's definitely not. Queen of Sion 3596. Has there been any sightings of Sebastian in this past month that you've been made aware of?
There's been sightings of people that supposedly look like Sebastian, but the of Sebastian, not that we have found, or else would be up here. I'd be like not up here. I'd be like, hey, you know, I got
Yeah.
things to do. I've got years to catch up with already, and I got to make sure he's good. Now, if Sebastian is found, everybody will know Sebastian is found because I will at least post it, you know, a YouTube post. Sebastian's been found, and I'm pretty sure it'll be all over the news, and then all over the internet, and then Sebastian can break the internet, and I'm cool with that.
I think everyone would be cool with that. And I wouldn't want you to be up here if he was home. So
I wouldn't be. If he was at home, it'd be like, all right, it's Friday. If he was home, we would literally be at the we'd probably be at Frontline right now or one of the other two gaming stores playing Magic the Gathering. It's Friday. Friday Night Magic. This is when they do boosters and tournaments and opening up packs and making decks. Sunday is Commander Night.
you're gonna have to find one night for him to teach me some D&D stuff, because if he's teaching me, I'll learn it. I'll play it. I'll learn it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, when you want to really learn how to play it, all right, don't have him tell you when I'm there so that I don't have to correct everything he's telling you. I've been playing D&D for like,
Yeah, no,
one
I
of the
get that.
things that I ask people when they're playing D&D when I walk in, it's an introduction question that I ask. Do you know what a THAC0 is? And if you don't know what a THAC0 is, then you haven't been playing D&D as long as I have. And
I haven't played
THAC0
it at all.
is an abbreviation, and it's to hit armor class 0. D&D used to have the lower your number was, the harder it was to actually hit.
Gotcha. All right. So where, like, are you able to say where those potential sightings were? Have they been investigated?
No, I don't. I don't tell people where I go.
Okay.
From this because I
Okay.
don't know if somebody's holding him, and I don't let it be known where it is, because if somebody's watching me right now, with their little evil devil filled brain going, I have your kid, which God will find you. You hurt my kid. You better hope God finds you before I do. Or I can make your appointment really quick. But I don't tell them so they don't know that if I've been in that area or not.
All right. Rosanna Dana, like that name as well. Can you get the records from his mental health providers? If so, it might list a reason for the cancellation.
I already have the records, and it does not.
Okay. Kiki 2025 True Crime. Was there a real search warrant on the other home? Can you say who was
I
all
don't live
at the
there,
home?
so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Autumn Sashes. Did the dogs ever search inside the home? I never saw a clear answer on if they actually went into the house.
I know that they had cadaver dogs on the inside of that house, and they had tracking dogs on the inside of that house. Now, which ones were which, I couldn't tell you.
And no alert.
No.
Obviously, okay.
That was another reason why they brought the 3D machine in, is to make sure that there was no hidden areas in the house. Like they had, extended a wall enough to fit a body or something in there. I mean, at least there was. I mean, that took some thinking to actually think about something along those lines.
All right. Lara Walker, 8284. Hi, Seth. How many beauty spots did Sebastian have on the right side of his neck? It looks like 2 from the flyers, but the pics 3. Okay. There were 3.
Yep.
Kimberly Brummett,
There,
99.
there was
Go ahead.
three. There's 3 very vivid ones that you can see.
Okay.
Like any picture will show those. If of that side of his face.
All right. Kimberly Brummett said, Seth, do you think a religious group is involved?
Don't know. I don't know who Chris and Katie associate with. If they associate with the church has never said anything. Church I go through, they literally asked me for, a couple boxes of flyers because church I go to has the Knights of Columbus in it. And I took them flyers and they took and handed them out.
All right. So Titch79 says, has the FBI given you any reason to believe that there is possible corruption with Sumner County, i.e., have they agreed there are people covering up?
The FBI will not speak to me about that. That it would be considered outside of the scope of looking for Sebastian. That would be a complete total investigation. I know that I have shared the number previously and told people that it's option 6 to report corruption in your community to the FBI, because I think we need to take back control of our communities. The people that we elected, if they're not doing what we want them to do for our whole, as a whole, for our community, we need to start recalling them. Don't do your job, then yeah, no. I mean, if we could go back to the 1700s, I'm good with tar and feather and politicians that, are guilty of treason. I mean, some of the, don't get me started on people who SA people. Wood Chipper Island.
I've seen you say that before.
I believe, I mean, just pump them full of adrenaline and feed them feet first through the wood chipper. Yeah, it's definitely not humane, but for you to take somebody's innocence, and that's not humane.
Yeah. The prevalence of that is
why do I have to be
unbelievable
humane if you're not doing if you're not being humane? It's a little bit of Old Testament, eye for an eye.
Yeah, I have someone near and dear to my heart that went through something like that when they were young and vulnerable. And first of all, obviously the impact that it has on the person, and now, this person's an adult, and just seeing that the tremendous impact that it's had on his life. And I mean, it does build a level of resilience and strength that a lot of people don't know, but that comes with, the healing of wounds and scars that no one should have to go through any of that. So my heart obviously goes out to you for even having heard that. I don't know what I would do as a parent if I would have ever heard that. So
I've gotten a lot of flack because I shared that happened to my son. And I look at it, those that are giving me flack for it, listen, you approach people differently who are victims, because their mind is not, I won't say normal, but PTSD rewires your brain on how you respond to everything, from your alarm clock waking you up in the morning to, hearing a dog bark outside. PTSD rewires your brain. And people that gave me grief for it, I just look at them as their victim blaming. My son didn't have a choice. But at the same point in time, the person's care he was in did. You check on your kids. You learn how to check on your kids without your kids realizing that you're checking on them. And, you know, again, I believe he was felt. And I believe that it's something that should have never happened to my boy. All right. I have not kept a journal of my private conversations with CP and KP, but I have recorded every one of them. Because in Tennessee, it's a one-party state, and I don't have to tell you I'm recording you.
Yeah, my state is the same way. So, I mean, to that note, like I said, like being a mother, I have never even dealt with anything, let alone really known anyone until recently, personally, who went through something like that. But I always, doors are open. There's no reason for a child to have a closed door, to really be that far out of earshot and eye shot. I don't really care how old they are. So we just need to keep an eye on our kids, know what they're doing. I mean, we don't need to know every single thing they're doing, but we should have an idea of where they are, who they're
Sebastian
associating
did
with.
not have a door knob on his room door at their house. I'm a dad. If he closes his door because he's mad at me, okay. But guess what? I have a key for your doorknob.
Oh yeah, mine don't even have locks on them.
Well, my Sebastian's has the one where you can turn. You know, you turn the little knob on the inside. Okay, you shut the door, and then you make a big deal about locking it. And I'm like, okay, well, I have a key, so you know, I can come in and check on you, and I will. I mean, doesn't bother me one bit. You know, knock. Hey, I'm coming in your house, your room. You know, you can sit there and say whatever. Well, my door is locked. Click. Not anymore. How'd you do that? I'm magical, son. Magical. All right.
Yeah.
Don't tell him. Be like, you know.
I mean, I think that you need to have open and honest lines of communication with your children as well, and just know that you're their biggest advocate and their biggest ally, and that they should be able to come to you with anything, good or bad.
That right
So
there is something that I had always tried to cultivate with Sebastian. So it kind of hurts when all this was happening and he didn't tell me, because I'm supposed to protect him. I'm supposed to make sure nobody gets there.
yeah, I understand. All right,
What's up, Eric with an H?
Hello, Eric with an H. All right, let's see. Tennessee Cornbread said, do you think they have him hiding in some sort of boys' home or with some of the other person's friends or family?
It's a possibility. I do not put anything past anything, because it's why I go down every time I receive a tip. That's why I go down the rabbit hole, because the only way to find out if he's there is to go down it just leaves, I mean, a lot of disappointment with a lot of things that I've done, but I keep hoping and praying that one of these I will find him. It's what keeps me going.
Yeah, very well said. So Autumn Sashes again. And I think I asked you this the first time that we spoke, but says, Seth, do you have any gut instincts as to where Sebastian could be and what happened without telling us out loud? Just curious if you have an idea.
I have ideas. Just ideas. But unfortunately, I can't go play in the wilderness in Alaska. I mean, I would drive there, but that's a that's an iffy trip, and I'd have to have, what is it? I'd have to go to the post office and get a passport, I believe.
Yeah, you'd have to go through Canada, the
Drive
Great
through
White North.
Canada. Yeah. And then
You have to
after
drive
that,
through all the maple syrup, and it'd probably take you a while to get there.
maple syrup and pine trees. Yay.
All right. Mama Dukes. Seth, why do you think Sebastian never mentioned to you how his stepfather was treating him?
I don't know if he was trying to like save me, or, if he was threatened that something bad would happen to me, or, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to tell him very firmly never do that shit again. Always tell me, because I will have your back. If he had told me that stuff, I would have made 3 phone calls. I would have called Clarksville PD. I'd have called Montgomery County Sheriff's, and I would have called Tennessee Highway Patrol. And I'd have made all 3 of them do a report, because I wouldn't be letting him leave my house. And then from there, we'd be making a trip over to an attorney and file for emergency, custody and a restraining order.
I understand. I'll
A
say
li-
something in my opinion after
I
you're
would
done.
do a
Go ahead.
lifetime restraining order, actually, because Tennessee does that. And
Oh, okay.
oh yeah, I mean, you find something out new every day. Tennessee issues lifetime restraining orders, and I would have had one filed for my son. And then he'd be here, and they could be having their best of life like they are now.
And from
I
what
would
I
be
heard,
living
that
my
wouldn't be the
best of
first
life.
one.
I'd be
Right.
living my best life, me and my son, and yeah.
I do believe I had heard, and you don't, I mean, I don't know what you can say or not, but I'll just ask it. And I'm not going to say that anymore because you'll just tell me if you can't. He did have a restraining order on him prior, from what I have heard. Is that correct? Are you able to say?
From my understanding, that's I believe that is what happened,
Okay.
and I believe that was from his ex-wife. I'm not too sure, because I've never asked her that sort of stuff. I mean, that kind of stuff is kind of personal, and sometimes people don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and to this question, when, they were asking if he'd mentioned or why he hadn't mentioned that his stepfather was treating him this way, maybe it could have been, in my opinion, fear of the same retaliation, fear of what you might do.
I mean, think about it. I mean, I've dealt with CPS when I was a child. They show up. You don't want to tell them anything more than what's already been told, because it's like, when you leave, there's not going to be anybody here to stop what's about to happen to me. And, I don't think they realize that. I don't think the workers realize that sort of stuff.
Right.
That's, yeah, no. I mean, look, you've read the filings, so you already know that, you know, in those filings, people could say that, attorneys lie and stuff. That's why I try to let people know that those filings, everything that's in parentheses, is literally coming out of the reports, which means that they're coming out of a official state document.
Alrighty. So Tessa? Any more info gathered from the cameras at the church?
What cameras at the church?
It doesn't say. So I'll go to the next one. Were the mother and stepdad interrogated separately from Cheryl B?
Well, I sure wasn't. I was asked questions in the room above the garage in front of everybody else, in which case I did not say anything. Because to me, that's not a proper questioning.
So you were never officially taken down to like the station and asked questions?
Nope.
It was in a garage at the other home, Proudfoot's home?
Yeah, the room above the garage. You know, where the big TV was, and, you know, all three couches, and I think there was a pool table in the back. Yeah, that room.
Interesting.
Very, because that's not policy or procedure.
Okay. And you're not aware if Chris and Katie were taken to a station and interrogated separately or together?
I'm aware, but I can't say anything.
Okay.
That was information that was given to me by SCSO, and some things I can't talk about because it hasn't been made public awareness yet. Anything that's been put out that other people have already gleaned or known, I don't have a problem speaking about certain things.
So as far as you're aware, you were never a person of interest, a suspect at all, treated as such by SCSO, anything?
They came to my house.
Okay.
All right. And the fact of how they were treating me, yeah, I was a person of interest. But there was a reason. I mean, obviously, you want to look at the people closest to the child that just went missing. And in two separates, when you have a father and, you know, and a mother that are no longer together, it's two separate households. You know, the first thing they're going to think about is, you know, but is custody issues, but we didn't have any custody issues. In fact, like I said, I was getting ready to get the one thing I wanted, which was full custody. Well, not full custody, but he was going to come live with me, which meant he would have been going to visit her every other weekend. So I was getting everything I wanted.
Do you think the timing of this was interesting in regards to that?
Timing in regards to certain something else was happening in a different state. Very interesting timing.
Understood.
Doesn't look
Yeah, go ahead. Good. So, but you cooperated fully with them to the best of your ability, gave them everything that they asked for.
They asked if they could follow me home, and they asked if when I went home if I would take the route. I told them, listen, I take multiple routes to get home. You know, because the first thing I do when Sebastian gets in the vehicle is, hey, A, are you hungry? B, what way do you want to go home? You know, do you want to just take the interstate to get there? Or do you want to go the back routes? I mean, it's like, if you're hungry, what do you want to eat? And then looking at what time it is based on traffic, you know, and if we're going to go eat, then I'm not too worried about getting back to the house to make dinner. So we could take the route that puts us, you know, on the road for an extra 30 minutes and go through the back country, which I've got. I have pictures and stuff on my phone. One of the best times that I remember going through the back with Sebastian is we were going, it's a 1-lane road. Okay. So if another vehicle comes, somebody's pulling off into the ditch. But we're going, and I slammed on the brakes, and I was like, do you see that? And he was like, what? I was like, well, look out your window. On both sides of the road in the field, it was just covered in turkeys. You know, and I was like, you know, this was like a week after turkey season ended. And I was like, They know turkey season's over. That's why they're out here doing this, because during turkey season, you couldn't find any of them. But we took pictures of it. I mean, seeing deer, things like that. Sebastian and I would go on road trips, not like not like going to a particular destination, but you go how well, I don't know your age, but off of that Sunday night, that Sunday afternoon drive, me and Sebastian would get in the vehicle, and it's like we got the fishing equipment in case we find a place, but we're gonna drive until we find a place where we can go fishing, and we would just head off. I wouldn't use the GPS, no nothing. I'm just like, maybe we should make a right here. Oh, look at this road. We'll drive down this road. I don't use the GPS until trying to get home. Things like that. Found some good places. Wish I could find them again, because there were some bass and some trout that were just about yay big. Water was clear. It was about probably 8-9 feet deep, just clear, and you could just see the fish. And drove back into this. When we found that, there was nothing that said no trespassing, so we drove over the little barrier, which the stream was running right through there, so it was a concrete, kind of like bridge. They had big tubes underneath it.
Oh,
So
like
the
Calvert, like a Calvert.
So the water will keep going back and forth.
Mhm.
And we drove over that because we got out and first looked, make sure there's no trespassing signs. Because if it's no trespassing, then obviously we can't go. But go over that, and then there was a 2-story huge house, old house. Like the windows were stained glass. Like you don't find that in a house anymore, where your windows are all stained glass. And then it had a barn in the back, and I mean, it was like he was like, Dad, I was like, I'm gonna go knock on the door, and he was like, are you serious? I was like, son, my gun is right there. If I knock on that door and you hear or see something, you take that pistol, you get out on that side of the vehicle, and you take your phone and you dial 911. I will make it back to here, and you will be fine. But he was like, but Dad, and I'm like, son, you can't have fear with things. They'll either answer the door and be upset that I'm on their property, or they'll answer the door and I'll introduce who I am and ask if I can go fish on that. And it's just certain things you can't let fear get in the way of you doing something.
I agree. A lot of people, we're all ruled by fear. It's a fear, based society, unfortunately. And it's just learning how
Well,
to let go and
there's
let God.
definitely a lot of reasons to have fear, but you can't let it control you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What was his favorite food, by the way?
It depends on his mood. I mean, when he was younger, he wouldn't eat meat. I can tell you about the first time he ate a burger, though. Yep, he said he was hungry, and I was like, okay, well, what do you want? Because most of the time, if we went through a drive-through or something like that when he was younger, he wanted the apple slices, the fruit cup, because he didn't want, this was before he started eating chicken nuggets. But we went through a Wendy's, and he was just like, I want a burger, Dad. And I was like, you want a burger? Okay. What do you want on this burger? He was like, lettuce, tomato, but no, nothing else. And then I was like, okay, so no mustard, no ketchup, no mayonnaise. You just want meat, tomato, lettuce, and buns. And yeah. And I was like, okay, I got it for him. There's pictures of him doing that somewhere on a hard drive or whatnot, of him eating it, because I had to take a picture. It was like he's eating a burger. I mean, it was just like, you Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
likes pizza, but he really, when it comes to pizza, he's a fan of like 3 cheese pizza, just cheese pizza. Hey, Henry dog. And other than that, doesn't really like anything on it, but he'll settle for black olives because he
Mm.
really likes black olives. So, you know, he'll eat that. He likes cheese pizza, and sometimes he'll do it with black olives on it.
Yeah, my son is a Canadian bacon and black olive pizza kid, and I don't get it. I do not get it, but, his own
Hey,
thing.
if it's edible and it's not bad for you, so be it. But I like fish eyes,
What?
black olives. They're fish eyes.
Oh, I'm like, what? Okay, gotcha. Um, yeah, my son loves fishing too. It's weird. But I don't know if John Gillespie is a big person everywhere, just like in the state where I live, but I got my son a signed picture, an autograph picture, and he's like, one of them that had his own show and was fishing and whatever and got him a tackle box. And I still remember how excited he was. So
Well,
we
it's like
definitely.
Christmas had just happened, so Sebastian hadn't even been able to use everything that I got him for Christmas, and I had just bought him 2 ultralight reels and and strung them up with spider wire, so that way if he did hook something big, that it wouldn't break his line, but you know, and I had just gotten him a a it was a Berkeley tackle box that came full of everything. Came through with weights, hooks, and all their little trout and worms, shad, and it's just
Yeah, good memories. Good memories.
oh, you should see his bed. It's got people have sent him Christmas gifts and birthday gifts, and they're just sitting on his bed.
He's gonna
You
love
know,
that.
when he comes home, he can open it, and then he can clear off his bed so he has a place to sleep. Because I ain't doing it. I mean, he's got comic books, he's got Naruto stuff up on there.
Yeah. Before I forget, because I've been wanting to ask you this, obviously, like I am new-ish to this case and learning what I can along the way. Because I did want to come into it unbiased. However, I am not oblivious, and I know that there tends to be, you know, people that have their own side. So what would you say to those that have criticism or potentially think that you have involvement in this? What is something that you'd like them to know? Or what would you like to say?
You're allowed to have your opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm,
just in our conversations, I can tell your love for him. So, I mean, there's no doubt about that.
they're allowed to have their opinion. If they're trying to get into an argument with me or whatnot, I graduated middle school. I'm not here to play this shit. What matters is my son is missing. I had nothing to do with it. I was at work that day. Okay. Yeah, I was at work an hour before I was supposed to be. But you don't know what the traffic's like on 24. And if you think that, I should have been, hey, I left every day at between 4:30 and 5 o'clock to be at work by 6 because I had to be in line by 6:30 to get my gear and get into the jail and be at my workstation and on my pod by before 7 because I'm trying to relieve somebody that's been there for 12 hours.
Right.
And I'm going to relieve them on time so that hopefully when it comes back to me being relieved, they'll show up and relieve me on time. Common courtesy, I'll be there to relieve you at your designated time. Please show up and relieve me at my designated time.
Yeah, it was the same when we worked in the ER. You were always making sure that your relief was there or that you were being that relief on time because you want that common courtesy extended back to you.
Right. I will say that it's we've been doing this for an hour and 25 minutes. If you got any not personal questions, but if you have any questions from your perspective that you wanted to ask.
What do you think is the biggest indicator from what you know of what may have happened to him? What do you think needs to be looked at the closest? Is it the timeline? Is it the video? What sticks out to you the most?
I don't think they're looking in the right area to solve this.
Okay.
Um, I don't think they have the experience. And if they do have the experience at this point in time, I mean, they were involved. Sumner County was involved before my son went missing. And they did nothing. They never let me know. My son went missing and was reporting missing, and they still didn't have the professional courtesy or protocol and following procedures to reach out to the father of a missing child to even let them know. You know, the mother, stepfather should have reached over, not to me on my cell phone, knowing I can't have my phone at work when I'm at work. And yet they never even called Montgomery County. I mean, Davidson County. Or they would have got a hold of my captain, and my captain would have, he would have radioed me, and I would have given him a phone call, and I would have known. Or knowing my captain that night, it wouldn't have been a radio. He would have just shown up on my pod and been like, "Hey, you got to go." And he probably would have showed up with a sergeant just so he didn't have to stay in there. Because that would have been, I wouldn't have blamed him. But
So if
fashion is
yeah, go
not
ahead.
a priority from my point of view for Sumner County. When you can't have my son's picture up for a press conference, the priority is not the missing child. The priority is not that they showed that their priority wasn't to show the picture of the missing child. And if their priority was to make sure the child was safe, they failed that miserably, along with the DA, all of them. And all they had to do was call me. One phone call, and we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, it's a systemic failure, and unfortunately, it doesn't sound like this is a first for Tennessee, and it's definitely not a first for the United States. So, I mean, I would say everyone needs to advocate, be aware of what's going on in your area, and step up and say something. It doesn't have to come to this for you guys to want to make a change, and everyone has the right to make a change as long as you stand up for what you believe in. So, would recommend getting involved in your communities and leadership and making sure that everyone is doing their jobs and holding our government accountable. It's our First Amendment right to protest our government. So recommend everyone get out and do that if you haven't. But anyways, get back
And
to
our
it.
Second Amendment says if they are, a tyrant, our Second Amendment is to make sure that we don't have tyranny. And remember, we're not a democracy; we're a republic. So it's not the majority rules; it's everybody has a voice.
Yeah. I mean, I
Sorry.
think the days of, you're fine. I think the days of just get along because that's who was voted in, those days need to be over, and people need to be making sure that we're holding our leadership accountable for their actions and, more importantly, their inactions, because it can cause what you're dealing with right now. And that starts with us, that starts with the people that vote them in and holding them accountable for making sure they're doing their jobs.
That's why I wrote Sebastian's Law. I see that it can fix a lot of the problems that I've run into, and it gives parents a way of telling the law enforcement agency that won't let it go or won't ask somebody else to take over lead, because Sumner County could do that.
Yeah. Okay. Shoot. Okay. So, obviously, maintain hope that Sebastian is still with us and that you get to bring him home and hopefully he gets to open all those wonderful presents. Um, if so, why do you believe that he hasn't been able to reach out? I'm assuming that he knows your phone number or knows a way to contact you or somebody else or 911. What do you
Well,
think would be a reason
if
he
they
wouldn't?
if 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 he was put somewhere, his phone was left on the kitchen counter. How do you call somebody if you don't have a phone?
So you're under the inclination that if he's being held, it's almost captivity.
Yeah,
Okay.
captivity, or he doesn't have a phone. I mean, I've been to places where there's no phone. Of course, that was last century, but before 2000. But you know, not every place has a phone, and if you're in a facility or somewhere, people don't have landlines anymore either. So if you're at a person's house, you'd have to get their cell phone. Well, most people keep their cell phone locked. And what happens if Sebastian's somewhere and doesn't even realize that he's missing?
Yeah. I mean, could be depending on what if there's a narrative that went along with it that, maybe he thinks that he's on vacation or he's somewhere. No, I understand that. So I know that you are working on Sebastian's Law. Is there anything that, you know, me or your audience, your viewers, anything that we can help you do?
Um, I mean, my whole thing is we got to reach out to our representatives. We have to reach out to our governors, and we got to get them to pay attention to us. Now, Sebastian's Law was written as a federal law, so it's our state representatives and then our Senate members to get it into Congress, so Congress can make a vote. And it's going to take everybody. It's going to take multiple people in multiple regions across the United States. If you have a child, Sebastian's Law is to help you protect your children in this world where people go to work for a paycheck, not because they go to work to do their job. I went to work to collect a paycheck, but when I was at work, I did my job, and it's like I worked fast food. When I went to work fast food, you know, hey, this burger that I'm flipping on here, when I make this burger, I want it to be the best burger that you ate. And people weren't paying, $7 or $8 for a burger from fast food, you know, 20 plus years ago.
If anyone wants to find information on Sebastian's Law, do you have it posted anywhere?
I have it posted in my short, and I will get it posted. It'll probably be one of those where you can download it, but it'll be a read-only file, so it can't be changed.
Right.
Because I don't want people changing it and making it into something that it's not. Which is why I also thank you to the person who helped me with that video. That's why in the video it's there. So that's the original for it to be out.
And for anyone that doesn't know, or maybe is just joining for the first time, or on my channel joining for the first time, do you want to give us an overview? And then I want you to rest because I know that you said you were having a migraine, so you can go whenever you're ready.
And of Sebastian's Law?
Yeah.
No. At any point in time that you want to discuss it, I'll discuss it with you.
Okay.
You know, that way you can read it, because it's pretty straightforward.
It's lengthy, but straightforward, yeah.
But it's straightforward. I mean,
Mhm.
I am not a politician. I'm not trying to pass a law with a bunch of extra BS into it, because that's what has happened. Semper's mom right here, she's reached out to me, and I'll be in communication with her because she's right with what needs to be done.
Yeah.
For Sebastian. Everybody has to start. Go to whitehouse.com. You know, look for your representative, put in your address, and it will bring up your representative. If you put in your address and try to email another representative or somebody that doesn't, it won't let you to.
I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say.
It's fine. I mean, I know you're not a natural blonde, but it's wearing off.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's the cat's name? Because I see all the white mustache on him, and I know he's got white on his paws.
It has nothing to do with the coloring. I wanted to call him Half Stash because he actually only has like the white
Just
on one side.
Awesome.
But his name is Luda, like Ludacris, so that when he gets in trouble, I just
Luda.
yell, Luda. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He probably walks in like, "Boo, bitch, get out the way."
he does, yeah. He actually sings that to me quite
If
frequently.
you do this, get the hell out of my way. You know, I know some Luda.
And again, I mean, obviously you never know if anyone new is tuning in. I think this is the last question that I asked you last time, is if they do feel that they have seen him, or if there is a way to communicate with him, what do you think the most effective way to communicate to gain his trust, or, so that if anyone
Sebastian,
sees him?
if he answers to Sebastian, I mean, if you get his attention, have you talked to your dad lately? And at the same point in time, if he answers to Sebastian, call 911. Call 911, and tell them, hey, listen, I'm speaking to somebody right now, and I believe it's the missing child, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
Yeah. Well, I'm really sorry that you're going through all of this. I can't imagine. I know that I told you my son is a smitten image of Sebastian. I don't know if you've ever seen him. He kind of pops in from time to time. So I can't imagine the heartbreak. When I first saw his picture, I was flabbergasted at the similarities between them. But if you wanted anyone to know anything about him at all, your favorite memory, anything, what would it be?
His smile, the way he laughs after a joke is played out. Funniest thing in the world. Because he still finds it hilarious. And I love him for it. I love him for a lot of reasons. I love him I just love my son.
Got me tearing up over here. Don't tell. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's up to you. I can keep asking you questions. I got them all day long.
Yeah,
but-
no, yeah. Well, you know, my last live was 3 hours and like 20 minutes because people ask questions and I just answer them. But you're right. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I don't mind answering questions, but it's been almost an hour, over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you, everybody who showed up. Thank you, Miss Justine. Pretty Little Clues, Pretty Little Pay. Or no, that's AV Coffee. But okay. I do appreciate everything.
I appreciate you having me. I really do. It's been an honor. And I'm hoping we can do it again sometime because I'll have more questions as I get further into it.
I'm pretty sure more people in chat have questions too, and I will have one of my stalkers go through and pull out questions. My stalker, she's great. She'll go in there and she will literally all the questions. You know, she doesn't go which one you go through, but it's just she doesn't choose. She just transfers all the questions in there and then emails them to me.
Very sweet. Yeah, I got the whole list of them, and I think we didn't even probably get an eighth of the way through, but
Yeah, but that's questions for 3.5 hour lives.
yeah. No, that's exhausting, and I know that you don't sleep much
Hey,
as
the
it
fact
is.
that
So.
she did it, I mean, it only took her 2 days. You know, she went above and beyond, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Bo. You know, we all know that you're my stalker.
I don't know if it's who I think it is, but hey, Bo, and thanks for all of your hard work.
I have seen one of your shows, Fueled by Folgers and Jesus. Just send me an email, and we can set something up. But I am going, if you'll wait in the back room if you want to, or you can go ahead and leave. I'm getting ready to close everything down.
All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, everybody. And I will.
I still hear your voice on the midnight breeze, like a whisper carried through the autumn trees. Sebastian Wayne Drake, my pride, my boy, my firstborn child, my heart, my joy.
It's been 8 long months since you've been gone, and I'm still out here holding on.
I bow my head and I pray each night, Lord, bring him home, show me a light. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain.
The seasons change, but my heart stands still. This house is quiet, but I love him still. I look down the road and call out his name. God help me hold on through this lonesome pain.
If you can hear me, I need your grace. Help me find my voice, show me the way. I'll carry this love through the wind and rain.
Lord, help me believe
We'll meet again. Oh Lord, if you're listening, please guide him to me. Wherever he's lost, set his soul free.
I'll wait by the porch, 'neath the moon and the pine, till the day I see his hand in mine.
Even in heartache, my love will remain forever and always, through joy and pain. If the stars could carry my words tonight,
They tell him I love him and hold on tight.
Sebastian Wayne Drake, my sweet little son, I'll search till I find you. Our journey's not done.